Those beautiful mountains out there, guys. I'm not talking about the trash, I'm talking about the mountains. Aren't they pretty? What's going on, everybody? This is Robert back again with another video for you guys. As you can see, we got us a load yesterday in Houston and we're headed back to El Paso right now. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the things that you're going to need if you're going to do flatbed. Now, I'm talking to all you owner operators out there, or people who are thinking about getting into flatbed, or let's say you want to be a company driver and just kind of want to know some of the equipment that you're going to have to need so that you can make sure your truck is outfitted with this equipment. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to go ahead and keep driving to El Paso. I'll catch you guys when I get back to the yard. Here we are, guys, to the yard. Look at all these trucks, boy. There's the old girl right there. That's my pickup truck, if you know what I mean. I don't mean an actual girl, I mean my pickup truck. All right, let's go ahead and back her on in. Back her on up, straight back, straight back. That's what we do around here. I'll get as close to my truck as I can because these are assigned parking spots and I don't want to take anybody's parking spot, but I don't need to, you know? I don't really like screwing people over like that. And there we go. So it's no surprise that us flatbedders, we actually carry a lot, I mean a lot of stuff on our truck. And sometimes you have a hard time putting it everywhere, and most of the time we end up running out of space. But let's talk about what you need on a flatbed trailer or to do flatbed work, and then I'll also tell you about more or less how many of each item that you need. So here we go, guys. First item on the list. First item is going to be what we like to call a winch bar. Now this is a winch bar right here. This one right here is for the winches that we have already on the trailer. So basically you stick it in the hole and then you crank down on your straps to actually tighten the straps. Now on this part of the winch bar, if you guys have seen this is actually for a snap binder, is what we like to call it, a snap binder. Now those aren't the ratcheting binders that you normally see, but the snap binder, you actually put the binder where you need it to go. You stick the binder in here, or the handle of the binder. Basically you're just going to pull it down so that it snaps, and that is called a snap binder. Now the next thing that you're going to make sure that you have plenty of on your trailer is going to be these things right here. This is called a winch. Now most flatbed trailers already come with winches attached, but make sure that you have plenty of these winches. Now on this trailer, I have 12 winches on the driver's side of the trailer, and I also have 12 winches on the other side of the trailer. So in total, it's about 24 winches. Now you want to have 12 and 12 and the reason for that is so that you can pull from any side of the trailer and you can secure a strap from any side no matter what you're doing. Now staying underneath the trailer, what you are going to have and what you're going to use a lot of is what we like to call is Dunnage. Now this Dunnage is just regular 4x4 wood, and you can get it at any Lowe's or Home Depot. Now each of these pieces need to be about 8 feet long so that it spans the width of your trailer. Now as you can see, I have Dunnage underneath the trailer, and I also have Dunnage stored up here on top of the trailer, and you can see that right here. Now we come to the item that pretty much everybody that I know that I guess when I tell them I do flatbed, they always bring this up, and I guess it's one of those items that everybody dreads and basically what holds people back from doing flatbed. And yes, guys, you guys know what I'm going to talk about next, and that is tarping. So those are my two tarps there. Now tarps can come in either an 8-foot drop, a 6-foot drop, or a 4-foot drop. Now, do you need to carry around all those tarps? No, not necessarily. What you could do is carry around either an 8-foot drop tarp or a 6-foot drop tarp. Now the problem with that is if you get a load that's too high, as far as like being as tall as a drive-in, you're not going to be able to haul that load with 6-foot tarps. You're going to need 8-foot drops for that, so that it covers the entire width, or I should say the entire height of the load. But they are going to be more heavier than, let's say, a 6-foot drop, which is those I have right there. Now I do know a lot of guys that don't like carrying 8-foot drops nor 6-foot drops, so they carry around the 4-foot drops because it is a lot easier to handle. It's a lot lighter than, let's say, a 6-foot or an 8-foot drop. But the problem with carrying a 4-foot drop is there may not be a lot of loads for you to carry. Not saying that they're not going to be out there, but they're going to be a lot less if, let's say, a load does require to be tarped. You're not going to be able to carry that, let's say, if the load height is 5 foot or 8 foot. You just won't be able to do it because they won't let you take it because you don't have 8 foot or 6 foot drop tarps. But 6 foot drop tarps are actually right there in the middle. That's the majority of what I haul. I really don't haul anything that's around 8 foot. Though if you guys are looking at getting tarp, I would say just go with the 6 foot drop tarps. That's all you're gonna need, I promise you. I just think 8 foot drop tarps are really not worth it because there's not many loads that require those types of tarps. Now, going along the lines of having tarps on the truck, you're also gonna need this key item here to actually secure the tarp to the trailer, and that's gonna be the bungee, the notorious bungee. And I would definitely get a lot of these. I like the medium ones personally. I don't like the short ones, so I would recommend staying away from the short ones. They are a pain in the butt and they really just don't do a good job. So I kind of stick to the medium sized one as far as length goes. And you're gonna need about maybe 100 or 150 of these things because these get broken very, very easily. You will constantly go through bungees. They just don't hold up that long. And also the box of bungees, you can get 50 of them at like a utility trailer or somewhere where they sell these things in bulk. You get like a box for like 60 bucks. Really like only $1.10 a piece or something like that, $1.10. So not super expensive, or I should say not as expensive as everything else that you would need for flatbed. Now, another item that you're gonna need if you're gonna be doing flatbed, and you need to make sure that you do have these because they will be required, and I pretty much every single week get on at least one load of mine. That's gonna be these things right here, and these are called edge protectors. So basically, I'll show you as an example. If this is the product, right, if this is something that you're trying to protect the edge on, basically you set the edge protector up there and then run the strap down to the winch, secure it, and that keeps the strap from damaging the product and keeps it off of it. Now the next item is going to be a push broom. You are definitely going to want to have a push broom because a lot of the stuff that we haul actually creates a lot of debris on top of the trailer, and you really cannot go down the road with stuff on your flatbed trailer. If anything is hard that flies off of that thing and hits another car, guess who's liable? You as the driver. And that doesn't matter, that's snow, that's pretty much anything. If it's on your car and it can cause an accident or cause people harm and it comes from you, guaranteed you're going to get in trouble for it. So always have a broom. Always like to sweep off the trailer after every single one of my loads because pretty much everything creates some kind of debris. Now, going along with the winches, what you're also going to want to have is straps. These are 4-inch straps and they do have the hook on them. Let me see if I can show you. If you look right in here, this is actually a metal piece that hooks like this, and that's what will hook to the bottom of your trailer, not the rub rail. So I would say you'd want to have at least as many straps as you do winches. So on this trailer, what I would need, since I have 12 and 12, I'm going to need 24 of these little straps. Now guys, something that you're going to be using religiously doing flatbed is going to be these little ratchet straps, and these is going to be a 2-inch strap with the hook on it, and you can find these at pretty much any truck store. They're a little bit expensive at the truck store, so if you can get them somewhere else like Mighty or something up in Ohio, I do think they have a website. Definitely get you some of these 2-inch ratchet straps because you will use them a lot. And I say that mostly because on the rear side of a load, let me see if I can show you guys on the back side of this trailer, you will use them a lot, trust me. So if you look at this load right here on the back side, now if you're hauling styrofoam or something like that, you would definitely use this a lot, and we do haul a lot of styrofoam. Basically what you would do with that strap is make an X across the back just to keep the product coming inside, or keeping it inside the trailer is what I like to call it. So basically doing something like that, you can think of these straps right here like the side of the box that keeps the product from going this way or falling off, and then that little X on the back keeps it from sliding back. But I know that's a bad example. I just have to do one of those loads so I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about, but you do that a lot, or at least I do it a lot. I definitely enjoy using those straps. Probably one of the best things that you can buy is 2-inch ratchet straps with the J-hook, of course. That's what this thing's called, J-hook. Now guys, the next thing that you're gonna need to have, and it is essential, and I promise you're gonna use these, is these ratchet binders. This is called a ratchet binder. Basically you hook it up to the chain on both sides, and you basically ratchet the binder to then force these together to actually pull the chain tight. Now the other binder that they have is actually called a snap binder. It's the same thing as this. Well, not technically, it's not screw. Basically what it does is grab both ends And then here is a piece that you just pull the handle down and it snaps the binder. Unfortunately, I do not have any of those to show you because they are kind of dangerous, and the guy that I'm working for doesn't want to put those on the truck because they are so dangerous. Ratchet binders are a lot safer than the snap binders. Snap binder will you up. Now, the next thing that you're gonna need, along with the ratchet binders that I have up there, you're gonna need chains, because there's no point in having binders if you don't have chains. Am I right? Now, as far as chains go, you can use a 5/16 chain or a 3/8 chain, but know that they all have to be grade 70 chain. Now, me personally, I would go with a 5/16 chain just because it is a lot lighter than the 3/8 chain. Just know that if you're hauling something heavy and you're carrying 5/16 chain, make sure that you throw some extra chains, but just keep that in mind. But you can definitely use either one of them. They are perfectly legal. So, I mean, personally, I do 5/16 chain. You don't need the 3/8. It's just way too heavy. Now, how many chains do you actually need to carry? Well, that really depends on what you're going to be hauling. I've known flatbedders that don't use chains all that often, and they carry, you know, 6 of them or 8 of them. But most of the time, whoever's giving you the load, whether that be a broker or a dispatcher, will tell you exactly how many chains that the load requires or how many chains the load calls for. Now, as for this truck has 10 chains and 10 binders just because we use them all of the time. Almost every single week, I'm having to put chains and binders on some type of load. Now, guys, something that you're gonna need to carry along with you is going to be this stuff right here. Now, you can either use this, which is plaster silicone lubricant, which is for the winches and for the chain binders so that you can keep them lubed up. They will dry out and then they get hard to work with. But just keep either this, or I said WD-40 works pretty good. Do not use grease. And the reason I say don't use grease is because if you grease all of this stuff up and then you're going down the road, especially out here in the desert where we're at, as you can see, it's all sand. So all that dust and stuff gets kicked up behind the truck, and then guess where it goes? It goes straight onto your binders, straight into your winches. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but grease is kind of sticky, and pretty much everything sticks to it. So don't use it because it will mess your stuff up, and then it will be definitely harder to use. This or WD-40, that's all you need. Now, as far as gloves go, use whatever type of gloves you want. It doesn't matter, but for me, I use impact gloves, and you can get these Hardy gloves literally at the Harbor Freights. If you have a Harbor Freight near you, I usually go pick up, like, you know, 5 packs of these, or I should say 5 single packs, because they only come in one. And then, you know, I pretty much go through these gloves like once every few weeks, because doing flatbed, you will go through a ton of gloves, I promise you. So make sure if you're doing flatbed, make sure you have a budget set aside for gloves. Now, something else that I carry along is a hammer. Why do I carry a hammer along? Who are you if you don't have a really good hammer? 10-pound hammer for flatbed work. A lot of times these winches right here end up getting stuck, and I usually just kind of beat them. Just tap them. You don't have to freaking slam it and try to break something, but just giving it a little love tap it every once in a while will help. Also, you can use the hammer. Let's say if you had some dunnage or something that needed to be pushed in a little bit. So most of the time, if the product's light, you can usually do it. Just push the dunnage in a little bit with the hammer. I'm sure you could figure something out. You always need a hammer. Maybe it's just because I like hitting stuff. I don't know. That's probably the reason why I need a hammer, but get you a hammer. Now, let's go ahead and walk to the other side of the truck. And I really don't want to pull this stuff out, so I'm just going to show you from the box what I have. Now, inside of this box right here, this mess, and it's really not a mess. There's snow chains right here for the tires. We're not going to be using that because it's hotter than it's hot as a joke out here in the desert. But anyway, these blankets here are cold, and they look like blankets, literally. Or you could use carpet. I have both. You can either use carpet, or these are called shipping blankets. And you can get these in all different types of sizes and stuff. But basically, you use shipping blankets if you were using a tarp. So if you're ever going to tarp something, basically what you do, let's say you have a sharp edge like this, right? That's a pretty sharp edge. Now, if you're going to put a tarp over it, obviously that edge right there will cut through that thing there. So instead of ruining your tarps, you put that shipping blanket underneath, or I should say cover this sharp piece, and then guess what, guys? It doesn't poke through your tarp. So that is what those shipping blankets are for. Now guys, another item that you're gonna wanna have is what we like to call an easy wind, and I'll show you how it works. So basically you have two parts to this. You got that little part, which is the U part, and then you have that, which is the handle. This part up here goes on the trailer, just like that. You screw this in super tight, and then basically you're gonna put your strap through here somehow. I mean, I usually like to wrap it from the J-hook, or you go the other way, it really doesn't matter. But basically, you wind your strap up just like that. Now, this makes winding your straps a lot easier than just rolling them up by hand. Pulling a strap up by hand is actually makes your forearms tired, really tired. Not that you guys don't have strong forearms anyway from whatever y'all do. But anyway, this makes everything a lot easier and a lot more comfortable and a lot faster and more efficient than just sitting there and winding a strap by hand, because these things are pretty long and it takes forever. Now, guys, something that is extremely essential to flatbed work is going to be having a vest. Now, in all of trucking, you're definitely going to want to have one of these safety vests, but what makes flatbed unique is you're going to need one of these right here. This is called a hard hat. This is the one I had from the oil field. The reason you need hard hats and a vest, and also you're going to need to have a pair of steel toe boots. Went to a lot of construction sites. Obviously, as you can tell, we don't really haul any canned goods or food or household items. It's pretty much all industrial stuff. So in those places, you need to have the proper PPE, personal protective equipment, and that consists of a hard hat and a safety vest, steel toe boots. Well, guys, I would say that is pretty much it as far as like equipment to get you started off. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you can get for a flatbed. There's definitely a lot more things that we use in flatbed, but those are just the basic items that will get you started, and pretty much that will get you going on any load. Another thing that is pretty important is what's called a coil rack, and here's a picture of it right here. Now, you're going to use coil racks anytime that you're hauling any type of coil. Basically, they set those on those coil racks so that you guys have probably seen them going down the road. I'm sure of it. They do haul a lot of coils. That is something that you need, and that's something that this truck doesn't necessarily have. I really don't haul coils that often. I've literally hauled a coil last year, I want to say at least 4 or 5 times. It's not something that I do regularly. I mean, if you decide that you're going to be doing coils, I would definitely get you some coil racks. To be honest with you guys, as far as like how many to have, I really don't know that answer. I mean, 8 or 10 couldn't hurt. You guys are flatbedding and everything, and if you guys haul coils or something, let me know down in the comment section exactly how many coil racks that you guys carry on top of your truck. I'd really like to know, because obviously I don't know everything, so I'm just giving you guys as much knowledge as I have. If anybody can help us out with that, please let me know. All right, guys, so this weekend I'm going to go home, so try to get some home time. I've been out for about 2.5, almost 3 weeks now, so that's pretty much my cutoff if you guys know me. But right now I'm gonna go ahead and keep on organizing my truck. I need to get all of that stuff organized, taking everything out, rewrapping it, trying to get it stored back properly in its proper place, because over the last couple weeks I've just been in such a hurry that I just throw everything in the box, or what box, or hang it on the trailer somewhere, and things get out of place and they get hard to find, things get tangled up. So I'm gonna go ahead and organize my truck and trailer again, get it ready for next week so that we can go out and make some money. Like always, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom of your screen. Turn on those bell notifications so that you guys get notified every single time that I put content out. Also, if you don't mind, go ahead and drop a like on this video. And I just want to let you guys know that you guys can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok if you guys are into that. And my username on all of those platforms is going to be Wero Loco Trucking. And yes, I know Wero, it's not spelled correctly in my title. I did that for a reason. I'm not really Hispanic. Well, my wife and my kids are Hispanic, but I am the only white guy, and I know it's spelled with a G, but I spelled it with a W because I'm a white guy. But anyway, beyond the point, pretty funny, or I thought it was funny. But anyway, till next time, peace. All right, you're gonna back in between the purple and the white truck. Make sure you use your mirrors. You need to roll your windows down because it's kind of dark.